Hey, my name is Mary Quinn, and I'm a sixth grade math teacher at Bowmar Elementary. And I'm here to talk to you about how I created a game-changing classroom management plan using the app LiveSchool. So my school started with LiveSchool this year, and it has literally been game-changing for my classroom. I was always really good at PBIS, but I never really stopped to look at what I was doing and assess my data halfway through the year, halfway through a month, just depending on what time of the year it is. So I love this app. I'm so glad that my school uses it, and I just want to tell you how I use it. So like I said, my name is Mary Quinn Wood. I'm a sixth grade math teacher. I have taught for the past 7 years, and I've only taught in sixth grade. And this year I'm actually Teacher of the Year at my school, so that is fun. If you want to follow me, I share lots of tips about my classroom. I share lots of tips about LiveSchool and just life as a sixth grade teacher. My Instagram handle is Life with Miss Wood, so I'd love a follow. Thank you. So let's get into it. PBIS. We hear it all the time, but what does it actually mean? So PBIS is here to reduce or eliminate poor behavior school-wide through the encouragement of positive behaviors. And it really has 4 key components. It has a school-wide component where all students, staff, and all settings in your school is designed to reduce problem behaviors and increase instructional time. This is what we see when we see a school-wide PBIS, when we see school-wide PBIS incentives. It's great for everyone. Then we have some students who need some support or specialized intervention for their behavior if they're maybe at risk. This might mean that they have someone in the school that they talk to regularly about what's going on in class and with their behavior. That might be you, their classroom teacher. It might be a former teacher of theirs that they're close with. It might be a school counselor or the principal. Could even be the lunch lady or the janitor. Just somebody who's checking in on them. Using LiveSchool is really great because you can track that data and see how that student is doing in a group setting, a small group setting, or one-on-one. Then we have our students who need individualized support. Mostly we see this through like a behavior plan, and these are students that have high-risk behaviors, and it's designed to reduce severity of ongoing problems. So these are your students that continue to show the same behaviors, and LiveSchool is great because it allows you as a teacher and your entire staff at your school to really hone in on that student and give them time throughout their day to have positive reinforcement for the things that they're doing really great on, and it helps you track their behaviors that they're not doing so great on. The fourth part is assessing the data. This is the part that I used to suck at, but now that I have LiveSchool, I'm so glad that I get to look at the data whenever I want to. So the question that you ask yourself when you're looking at data for PBIS is our framework delivering the results that we anticipated? Is our behavior where we wanted it to be? If it is, great. Keep doing what you're doing. If it's not, step back and see where those problems are occurring and how we can step in and fix that. And I'm going to show you how I do all of this with my LiveSchool app. So why LiveSchool? Well, I didn't really have a choice with LiveSchool. My principal was just like, hey, we're doing this thing. And I was a little skeptical at first, but let me tell you, I've used it over 25 weeks now, and I love it. So LiveSchool gives me and my coworkers a way to reinforce positive behavior, look at behavior trends, and help us in creating a school community where everyone plays a very important role. So the first step that we did is we sat down as a school team and we identified and defined positive behaviors. We did this through a few ways. The first place was where. We identified all the places in our school where students were allowed, whether this was at recess, in the cafeteria, the hallway, the restroom, in special area classes, in regular ed classes, anywhere a student is going to be, there's a place for them to earn a positive point for doing what they're supposed to do. Then we set very clear expectations for all of these areas, and we go over it as a school at a school-wide assembly. During this assembly, we go over rules like water fountain rules, bathroom rules, cafeteria rules, and our admin team sets very clear expectations for our students. And then we as teachers, we go back, we have those list of rules, and we continue to go over those with our students the first couple of weeks of school. And then we placed visuals by all of those places when you enter. So like by the water fountain, there's a visual of the expectations. Going into the bathroom, there's a visual of their expectations. Going into the cafeteria, there's expectations. And then we were able to customize our sections to fit our school and even individualize to each grade. And I'm going to show you that in a little while. And it's pretty cool. We got to decide as a school is what we thought we wanted to give positive points for, what we thought negative points needed to be for. It was a great collaboration with our staff. And using the data that we have now, we are able to go back and see, hey, we give a lot of these points, but we don't give a lot of these points. We can take that off. That's just something we're scrolling by. And it's always a learning, we're always learning when it comes to using technology. So it's okay if you put something on there and then you need to take it off. Perfectly fine. So these are our customizable kind of sections that we have. We are a Leader in Me school, so we have a 7 habits section. We have one for the cafeteria, dress code, hallway, recess, special area, auditorium, classroom, when students show excellence, if they get an infraction, and then the restroom. And I'm going to show you in a little bit what these look like on my app. So you figured out where your students are going in your school. You figured out your expectations. Now we got to create a positive reinforcement system. What are these students going to do with these points? We do a PBIS party once in 9 weeks. So we don't have a school store, but a school store is a great way for students to be able to spend their points. So students can earn points in all of the categories that I showed you earlier. Some of our categories, like our 7 habits, those are all just positive points. When I see a student doing something where he's using habit number 4, think, win, win, I just press the button and get on with my day. It's great. Other places, like the auditorium, they might have positive and negative points. So you might get a positive point if you're attentive to the speaker. And you might get a negative point if you're disrupting others. Okay? You just can't be doing that in the auditorium. We also have our cafeteria. I give a lot in the cafeteria. I like the class that I have lunch with. I like to give them like the opportunity to earn about 4 points at lunch every day. Then we have classroom. I also use classroom a lot, and my grade level decided, and I'll talk about this in a little bit, but we decided that we wanted to give our students opportunity to earn at least 10 positive points a day. So classroom and cafeteria, a hunk of mine come from. Then, of course, we have excellence and hallway. And these are just a few of the things that we use and that we found helpful and behaviors that we wanted to track. Sorry. All right. So our PBIS events. We have PBIS events every 9 weeks, 1 in 9 weeks. We decided that students needed to have 550 positive points. This is for this current 9 weeks. We do it off of how many days there are and if they were to earn their 10 points per day minimum. So for this 9 weeks, it was 550 positive points. We do not look at the negative points when it comes to PBIS events because they are getting to go for positive behavior. And then no office or bus referrals. So no write-ups, nothing like that. So we had, right before Christmas break, we had our winter PBIS party. It was a glow party. We had kindergarten through second grade come from 5:30 to 7. And then we had third through sixth grade come from 6:45 to 8:15. And they all wore white, and we painted our shirts neon and decked out our gym to be the neon glow party. And then they had pizza. It was a blast. Some other ideas that we have done in the past, we've had a tailgate party right in the middle of football season. We usually do this the first time weeks, and it's really fun. We have parents bring tailgate games. We cook hamburgers and hot dogs on the grill, and it's a really fun time at the beginning of the year to really get to know some people outside of your homeroom class. We've done an escape room before. We've done a glow party, of course, a sock hop, which has been really, really popular with our K2 students. We did a kickball tournament at a local high school for our 5th and 6th graders one year. Sometimes they go on field trips. We do a s'mores party. And we just had a parent come in and do a kind of like guided paint party that was a really big success. So those are just some ideas. You could also do like a school store or a classroom store where students use their points every week, every other week, once a month, those types of things. This is just what we have found works best for our school. Now, that's all the stuff that my school does. But as a classroom teacher, I had to align my school's plan with my own classroom management practices. So if you've ever been in my classroom, I'm a pretty chill teacher. There's not a lot of stuff that irks my nerves. My classroom is primarily run by my students this time of year. I have really strict procedures on how things are done, and I spend a lot of time making sure that my students know how I want things done, whether that is morning work or when we're doing whole group or small group, and I make sure that they know my expectations so that they can be successful. And then I get to use LiveSchool to reward them for that. So in my 6th grade classroom, I give out points all day, every day. Man, you brought your Chromebook to class, prepared for class, you get a point. You're walking in the hallway and another teacher compliments my line. Oh, y'all are all getting points. My team strives for 10 positive points a day as our baseline, and I have to tell you, it's really, really hard not to get 10 points in my class. Just really hard. I like to focus on a few behaviors at a time, probably 1 to 3 a week, just depending on where my class is. So right now we are focusing on how we enter the classroom because it is February and they have lost their minds. So we're focusing on how we enter the classroom. We're focusing on lunch, like cleaning up after ourselves at lunch and appropriate talk at lunch, appropriate volume at lunch, eating all our food and not playing with it. And then we're working on recess. Just as a whole group, I'm giving points if students are playing cooperatively and they're not coming in tattletaling because they're about to go to junior high. So I focus on a few behaviors at a time. I let my students know on Monday, hey, these are the 3 things that I'm looking for this week. I set my expectations for them, and I'm like, this is how you're going to get your points this week doing this. Now, this is where LiveSchool has helped me so much in being consistent, because I used to do all of these things in my classroom, but I had like a little checklist on a chart of paper that traveled with my homeroom from class to class, and I was not consistent with that. I would forget to print them off. I would leave it in my co-teacher's room for a day and a half. It was just not consistent. Now LiveSchool is literally on my phone. My phone's pretty much either in my back pocket or on my desk where I'm teaching. And I can also have LiveSchool pulled up on my J-Touch. I'm going to talk about all those in a second. So LiveSchool's really helped me to be very consistent with the behavior that I don't deal with and the behavior that I do deal with. I also set myself reminders. So I have a reminder at the beginning of every class and the end of every class to give points for right now, because we're working on coming into class and leaving class. I also have a student assigned in every class that I have that's like hey, Miss Wood, you haven't given points out today yet. Or, hey, we haven't checked our points. Can we check them? That's my go-to person. And then the last thing that LiveSchool has helped me do is give fun rewards. So rewards are key to getting your students buy-in. They have to be something that they're willing to work for. And these are the things, I found a few things that my students are willing to work for, and I'll share those with you in a second. So again, classroom points, I give them all day, every day. I focus on a few behaviors at a time, and I'm very consistent. So these are the rewards that we do. Some of these are school-wide and some of these are just in my classroom. And I just thought about my team teacher, what she does. So I'll tell you all about that too. So first, school-wide. PBIS events, we have those 1 to 9 weeks. Remember, we set the parameter at the beginning of the 9 weeks of how many positive points they have based on how many days of school they will be in. Then we have house spirit days every Monday. The house with the most points the previous week, they get to wear their house color to school instead of a uniform on Monday. And this is really fun because my 6th graders will see their kindergarten buddies and they're in the same house. And oh my word, they're both wearing lime green that day and they are just connecting and vibing. And it is a great way to build culture. So if I didn't explain this before, my school uses a house system. And so what that means is that all of our students are separated into a colored house. So we have black, red, green, pink, gray, white. There's like 8 or 9 of them. And so what we do is on our TV in our hallway, right by the boys' bathroom, our principal displays the house points. So every time you walk by, you can see how many points your house has, who's winning, those types of things. And it's a great way to keep that encouragement and that camaraderie throughout our entire school. So we have house spirit days on Mondays, and all of the teachers dress in that color that day. I am waiting on pink day, pink to win. Black won last week, and that was a hard outfit to wear because I don't like black, but I still wore it, okay? You got to get their buy-in, and you have to buy into them too. And then what we do for my 6th graders, so there's 3 homerooms of 6th grade, and what we've decided as a team is students who have 50 or more positive points. So that means that they have gotten all their baseline points for the week and less than 10 negative points Friday through Thursday. So we start on Friday and we go through that Thursday. Well, that next Friday after that Thursday, they can wear a free shirt with jeans. And oh my word, there's nothing cooler than a 6th grader coming in with a new shirt on. Okay. They love a free shirt Friday. They will get their 50 points for a free shirt Friday. They sure will. They will be at 48 on Tuesday at 2 o'clock, on Thursday at 2 o'clock, and they will get those points. They will make sure. The last thing that PBIS does is you have to assess your data. And I was really bad at assessing my data. But now that I have LiveSchool, I have the opportunity to assess my data literally anytime I want to. So it's important to look at data because this is where we can see behavior trends for a homeroom, a grade, or even the whole school. We can see what positive behaviors are seen most, where those are happening. We can see what negative behaviors are seen most, and we can figure out how we're going to fix those. We can see where behaviors are taking place. So are a lot of people getting negatives in the cafeteria? Maybe we need to figure out something better for that. Are a lot of people getting positives when we go into the auditorium? Well, they need some external praise for that. And we can see which teachers' behaviors are taking place with. Is there a teacher who has amazing classroom management skills? Then you need to team her up with somebody who doesn't. And then we're allowed to collaborate on what is working and what needs to be worked on as a school. So we're allowed to sit around and talk from grade level to grade level about what is working with our PBIS system and what is not. One of the things that I love, I took my sixth graders I did like their last 9 weeks, their last 2 9 weeks. So from August to December. And I was able to pull up in the data from LiveSchool who had the most points. So all of my top students were like in the 1600s and 1500s. And that's amazing, thinking that, they'd probably have about 1,000 combined if they went, or about 1,100, 1,200 combined if they went, just got their 10 a day to go to PBIS. But these are the students that went above and beyond. And so that gives me the opportunity to really say, look, you're doing amazing. And I get to reward them externally in front of a principal. That might be a call home that I call for a positive contact. But I'm also allowed to see which students have the most negative behavior. Is it time for me to call the counselor to step in? Do I need to call mom and see, like, is something going on at home? Has something drastically changed? Why are these behaviors happening? It's letting me pinpoint those students without me even thinking about it. I don't have to keep up with a sheet or anything. I don't have to input any data. It just automatically keeps up with it. And that is one of the most amazing parts about this platform. You can also see, so like if you're an admin team, I went in, I will tell you, I am this top teacher. I give points all day, every day. So I went in and I could see which teachers gave the most points in positives and negatives. So, it'd be a great idea to maybe team up with some of those teachers that are really high giving positives and some that are really high giving negatives, and let them talk and work together about what's working, what's not, and maybe we can figure out why there's such a disconnect, especially if those teachers are, on the same pole, in the same grade level, in the same subject, one of those things. So it's really awesome to see who has been doing a lot of positive behavior and who's been having to do a lot of negative behavior. Then we can look at our top behaviors school-wide. So something that is great for my school is, it looks like that we're being really attentive to our teachers, we're following direction, controlling talking, displaying appropriate behavior. In the sunshine, our kindergarten and first graders use that the most. It's kind of like how they track, and it's just like an easy 10 at the end of the day, which is good for them. Then some of the behaviors that we have to work on are following directions, controlling talking, being off task, and volume. And I think that that's seen a lot throughout my friends that are teachers at other schools, that since COVID, that controls talking, following directions, off task is really what we're all dealing with right now. So we know it's a problem. Now it's time for us to look and see, where are these things happening? Or is this happening at recess? Is this happening at the cafeteria? What can you as an admin team, or you as a teacher or a team of teachers, do to fix that problem? Is it some students don't need to be sitting by each other? Some students don't need to be playing with each other? This data gives you so much information that you can really look and pinpoint at, hey, this is really working, this is not working, this is what I need to change. And I think that is so amazing, because I don't have time in my day to figure it out, but I want to figure it out. And it just gives it to me right there. Let's see. All right, so I had a few questions, and the first one was, do I keep a LiveSchool screen up all day? So yes, I do keep the LiveSchool screen up all day on my J-Touch. Any of my students, they're tall enough to be able to reach where it is, and if I'm not up actively teaching with my J-Touch, they're allowed to click on it and see where they are for the day, for the week. I do a display for the week. But then they also have the ability to set up an account. They have to do it through their parents. So at the beginning of the year, we sent home the little LiveSchool notes, and I'd say 98% of our families set up accounts for their students. And so anytime that they have time on their Chromebook, they can pull up LiveSchool, at least in my classroom. They're always like, can I check my LiveSchool points? And I will say, yes, of course. And they can see exactly why they got a point for positive or negative behavior. So that is really how I use it in my classroom. And then the second one said, when I'm going about the day and I just want to shoot a few students some points, seems to take a while to give just one person points. Years ago, I used another online point system where all I had to do was give one click and move on with my instruction. This one seems to have longer steps, so that discourages me from using it again. It took too much of my time. How are you able to give so many points, and do you have suggestions? So, yes, giving points does take time, but I'm going to show you in a second on my phone how quick it is for me to give points. But I will say, if you set a reminder on your phone, or if you give a student the job to remind you, they're going to remind you to give points. And if it's up on your computer, or if you have like a screen on like a J-Touch or some type of board that you can project it on, then it's really easy. So let me find the LiveSchool app, and I am going to show you just what I do. Okay, so all I do, let's see. Okay, so I'm just going to click points. All right, hold on. I got to change some display settings real quick. Let me put it on initials only. All right, so there is my class. As you can see, those are for the week. If I click on one person and highlight them down here, okay, this is what I do. You see all of my categories, they are all hidden until I need that one. So I could just give displays appropriate behavior right there, and we're done. I can also click on multiple students at a time, have them clicked, press the yellow button. Maybe I wanted to go to cafeteria, press show, and there they go. Getting a point. Easy as that, simple as that. And like I said, I always have an alarm going off on my phone, or I have a student who is in charge of politely reminding me, hey, it's time to give points. So thank you so much for having me today. I love LiveSchool. If you have any questions, please reach out, and have a great night.